Good have Shabbos, everyone. We're starting a new Sefer, Shabbos Parshas Vayikra, and today is Beis Nisan, the Yortzeit of the Rebbe Rashab. We entered the month of Nisan, month of miracles, month of redemption, of Geulah. So, to start with the Parsha, move into the Chodesh, to the month, and to the times we're in. Parshas Vayikra is amazing, because literally, we separate a whole book in the Torah, the book of Sefer Shmois, the book of Numbers, the book of Exodus, to the book of Vayikra, with mid-conversation, mid-story. We finished last week's Parsha, how they put up the Mishkan, the Onon, the cloud comes, the Shechina rests in the Mishkan, and Moshe can't enter. Moshe can't enter because of the great revelation of the Shechina, of the Onon, of the cloud. So much so that they ask, how could Moshe be so overwhelmed by the cloud of the Mishkan when he enters the cloud on Matan Torah, by Har Sinai? So we have to say there's different types of clouds, and the cloud of the Mishkan was the cloud that's so great that even Moshe can't go in. And this is such a separation that we complete the whole book of Shemais, the whole story of the Exodus of Egypt finishes with that moment, the high moment of the revelation of godliness in the Mishkan. That means the whole point of everything. This really finishes from the beginning of Bereshis. That the whole point of Bereshis that leads to Avram Avinu, that leads to Lech Lecha, that leads to Yaakov Avinu, to Mitzrayim, the finishing off Mitzrayim with the story of Egypt, with Yosef, to the story of the fulfillment of the vow in Parshas Lech Lecha, where God says your children will be enslaved in a foreign land. That happens in Shemais, and then the liberation, the exodus of Egypt, the receiving of the Torah. And what is the sea, so to say, the culmination of it all is that they build the Mishkan after the Chet Egel, after the sin of the golden calf. They bring down the Shechina, and that ends the story, so to say, that ends the Parsha. Moshe can enter such a revelation, the high point. So we would think this is the highest point. This is what it must be all about, that we were able to reach V'shachanti b'socham, God rests amongst us. The cloud is there, the great revelation is there. But the very fact that Moshe can't go in, we don't know. Is that what it's all about? That there should be a revelation that we can't enter? Comes Parshas Vayikra and say no. Starts right away, Vayikra Moshe. God calls Moshe and says Vayikra with a small aleph. He condenses that energy, so Moshe can enter. He empowers Moshe to enter the cloud. Now, a person may think that this is a continuation of the idea of getting to this high moment, that Moshe is able to enter into the highest moment. And the Rebbe teaches us differently. The Rebbe says that this is not just a moment of Moshe, it's a moment of every Jewish person. That God calls every Jewish person and says, this great thing that you see, this great revelation, this great cloud, there's a purpose of this itself, and the purpose is, this is not the end game. The end game is that you go into the cloud, you go into the Beis HaMikdash, and you come out. There's a small aleph, you go out to the small details. Go back to the small person. Go back to the person that you can take, that has not had the experience that you had to go into the Mishkan. Bring them into the Mishkan. Teach them Aleph Beis. Teach them even the small Aleph. The purpose of every great revelation is, what are you going to do with it? Moshe empowers us. We don't finish there. We finish that when Moshe goes in, he's able to go and start teaching the Jewish people, to start learning the laws, to start bringing people closer. If you go into the Mishkan and you stay there, that's your end moment. That's the culmination of everything. Then you don't get the point. You don't get the idea of Dir B'Tartonim. You don't get what this is all about. The Exodus is not to go into the cloud. The Exodus is to be able to go in and to bring others, to go out and teach others. The Rebbe teaches us when a person the whole week is getting ready for Shabbos. The idea is not that your whole week you're getting ready for Shabbos so you could escape into Shabbos. The whole idea is that you go into Shabbos and then you walk out from Shabbos to Motzei Shabbos, Al Tira Avdi Yaakov. You sing the song, you go back to Jacob, back to the lower level. You're not Yisrael anymore. But that's the point. The point is to take Shabbos and bring it into the 6 days of the week. The point is not to run into Shabbos. The point is to go into the Beis HaMikdash and bring it outside. That's the real Mashiach. That's the real revelation. That's when you show that everything is one. And this is why, when did this moment happen? Which happened yesterday, on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the month of miracles. The Rebbe asked the question, if the idea of Mashiach is that we're supposed to do Yisrael Leis and Tshuva, we do Tshuva, Miyad Nigom, and we get redeemed. So Mashiach should come in Tishrei, the month when there's Tshuva. Why are we talking about Mashiach in the month of Nisan? Because the point is that we have to bring together both ideas. that we have the idea of the revelation of the Beis Hamikdash that happens on the first day. We have the idea of Nisan, of the revelation that comes down from above, like the cloud came down. That happens. But that itself has a purpose. And when is that purpose really confirmed? When how we take that and move it forward. We make a full circle. The Torah should have started with the month, with the first mitzvah. It starts with creation so we could build up. We have to break through Teva, through nature, and find godliness. But the point is not to break through to find godliness and run away from the world. But that the entire story from the first day, from day one, is about that the Yemais Mashiach is, we show how that all those clues that happen throughout history come together as one. All the point, everything is one. That Mashiach comes revealed. It's not that you're running away, you're running into Mashiach. The Rebbe always said the difference between Geulah and Geulah is an Alef. It's that same Alef of Vayikra. It's a perspective when you realize that the whole point of it was godliness. Yes, the great revelation is that to take the revelation and bring it outside to make it all one. The whole world becomes a place of revelation. Everyone is there. Everyone could enter. So there comes the month of Nisan, when the month of miracles, and when the month of Geulah, may it be speeding that time, we're going to see Geulah, Shlema, Mitzvahs, with the Beis Hamikdash, the Yer Harabais, in Yerushalayim Yer Kodesh, B'mheira B'yameinu B'Shabbos.